We are witnessing systematic attacks against the president and his family on various information networks every day. We are witnessing the information terrorism and evil incitement campaign against the commander-in-chief of the armed forces that protects the defense and safety of the people. The president of the National Assembly's Human Rights Committee, Mr. Zahid Oruç, said this at today's meeting of the Parliament. Dear viewers, the author of these lines I will present to you is not only a deputy, but also the director of the Social and Political Research Center next to the president. In addition, he is a person who has been promoted to the rank of Ilham Aliyev's and the general government's #1 spokesman, and we will listen to what else he has said together. Zahid Oruç stated that by testing the first person's patience, they want to remove him from his ideas of sovereignty and emotional decisions. As stated in the documents of the Central Intelligence Agency, those who attack the president with the plan of leaderlessness and statelessness are in fact nothing different from armed foreign interlocutors to the country. To try to stain the unity, territorial integrity, and sovereignty of the nation, the person who is the symbol of our victory, is to undermine the trust and ideals of millions of people who vote for the president. It is obvious in this context that Zahid Oruç considers it necessary to declare a real war against those who criticize Ilham Aliyev as a foreign enemy and declare that it is not just a rhetorical war, but a real war, and that it will be based on a tangible basis. Just be patient. According to Zahid Oruç, the majority of European Union countries are punished by the authoritative law of the country's leader. Italy, Spain, Germany, Poland, and others have different criminal responsibilities according to him. Zahid Oruç calls this a lie to the core. He corrects false witnesses to justify his terrorist views, as well as false witnesses corrected by the Azerbaijani interrogation authorities and courtrooms. Zahid Oruç goes on. The main target of those who always choose the country's leader is Europe, and they are divided into different groups. The OCCRP and other fake media networks, which have no doubt about the discovery of America, are in the process of being destroyed. Their 4P program, which they publish, proves that Pegasus, Panama, Pandora, and Paradise documents are fake, and their main goal is to overthrow the country's leader from various foreign policy decisions, to raise citizen groups above him, and to achieve partiality in society and to implement political transformations. The 4P program, which they publish, proves that Pegasus, Panama, Pandora, and Paradise documents are fake, and their main goal is to overthrow the country's leader from various foreign policy decisions, to raise citizen groups above him, and to implement political transformations. These 4P documents are not made up of hundreds. They are made up of tens of thousands of corruption and fraudulent operations. It is not for Zahid Oruç to deny them. Because some of them are confirmed by Ilham Aliyev himself, and 5% of what is written there may be true. Ilham Aliyev's and his family's wealth goes from Azerbaijan to foreign countries. No one in Azerbaijan doubts this. There are those who deny this shamelessly, but this is just denying it shamelessly. There is prosperity, and it continues. Zahid Oruç also continues. The second group is the Armenian lobbyists, foreign companies that have been exploiting Boghossian's luxury and Karabak's rich wealth for many years. These are the investors of the big corporations that are trying to get rich and privileged oil, gas, or valuable carpentry contracts from our country. These statements, such as Boghossian, are also an attempt to dress Aliyev's success in a national struggle. They want to say with these lies, thrown into the eyes of the Azerbaijanis, that Aliyev is not successful, and all this is the imagination of the Armenians. But this is not a lie, and Aliyev is one of the most successful, most corrupt, and most solid dictators of modern world history. The great wealth gained through success and corruption also allows him to form any criminal apparatus in the country and keep it operational. Zahid Oruç continues, we must strengthen the mechanisms to attract at least the last group representatives to office within the framework of international law. The Convention on the Status of Refugees, adopted in 1951, cannot be the immunity of those men. If the mechanisms of the courts and legal institutions do not result in protecting the honor and dignity of the president, then the examination of laboratories should be openly announced to harm in every way as legitimate goals. This is the essence of the matter. Zahid Oruç describes the details of the operation to protect Aliyev's charisma with the advice of the center, personally inspired by Aliyev. We are murderers. If the mechanisms of the courts and legal institutions do not result in protecting the honor and dignity of the president, then the examination of laboratories should be openly announced to harm in every way as legitimate goals. It should be destroyed as a legitimate goal. So we are murderers. No one can resist us. There is another issue here. Which words, which dictionaries, which statements does the administration of the president consider the appreciation of honor and dignity, and which does not? For example, does it bring halal to say that Ilham Aliyev is a corruptionist or successful? If this is an accusation that brings halal to honor and dignity, then why is Ilham Aliyev successful and corrupt? Let's not put the name of these actions that he created on his own, so that it does not touch the thoughts of Zahid Oruç, who has been raised to the color of Aliyev and him. We will destroy those outside the country. We will condemn those who are inside the country. Has Ilham Aliyev, the Caucasian Muslims, been raised to the color of the holy ones with the fatwa of the spiritual administration? Is there such a blackness there? Finally, after many years, it is clear who Zahid Oruç keeps in mind with the history of Karabakh, when he says foreign enemies that consume the wealth of Karabakh. And what is the name of the intentions of those who consume this wealth with the new history against Azerbaijan? Now, who takes the wealth and resources of Karabakh? Zahid Oruç has a purpose in all this. It is not so true to say that Zahid Oruç is someone who has no power to say a word besides Aliyev's intentions. This is the manifesto of Ilham Aliyev himself. I will destroy those who come to my mind. It is his declaration. But what has Aliyev been doing so far? Maybe so far. The violation of the rights and rights of the Azerbaijani people has created the foundations of law with history. If the mechanisms of the courts and law enforcement agencies have not resulted in protecting the honor and dignity of the president, then there should be a clear declaration to neutralize all forms of insults, laboratories, and legitimate goals. Is there any other explanation? There is not.